Hey everyone, Happy New Year. Thank you for tuning in to Breathe If You Agree. We have missed you. We are so excited to be back with a new year and a bunch of new episodes. As you know, there has been an incredible amount of devastation in Los Angeles due to the fires in the Palisades and in Pasadena and Altadena and beyond. And our hearts go out to all of our listeners, every single family, anyone affected by this. It's truly terrible, and we are incredibly sad with what we have seen unfold. As you know, we took a little break and we scrapped some episodes so that we could focus on wildfire relief and helping the families in need. We'll include a bunch of GoFundMes below. Donate where you can, volunteer where you can. We'll be doing the same. We know that it's a very tough time, but this podcast is all about, love and heart and laughter and bringing you guys fun tidbits of our lives and introducing you to awesome, amazing guests each week, which we have a wonderful, wonderful lineup this year. And we're excited to get started. This episode that you're about to hear was recorded before the fires began, but it's a really amazing guest, a hilarious, hilarious comedian, and we thought we might want to just jump back in and bring that heart and levity and fun and laughter to the world in such a dark time. Thank you again for everything, and if you can, please donate, volunteer, look up different resources where you can. We love you. We'll see you soon, and excited for this season.
Hello!
Hey, and welcome back to Breathe If You Agree.
Hey, we're back with New Year, exciting, and also, I'm like, this is the problem with having a podcast. It's just like, that's like, what's on my mind? What can I say? But no, we're so excited to be joined by our first guest of the season. He's an actor, a writer, a comedian, a social media star. You've seen his videos, obviously. Sometimes he's getting into Twitter brawls, which I definitely want to get into. And he's also on Apple TV show Platonic, Vinny Thomas. Yay!
Hi! I like that
Welcome.
You said exciting twice. That was really fun.
Exciting. Yes, it's like I'm in a college lecture and I'm just saying interesting. I just find that so interesting. That's the fun word. That's the go-to. How are you?
I'm so good. I went out of town on a little trip at the end of the year into the new year, and then I came back, and then I immediately kind of got the flu. So I've just been kind of hanging out, dealing with that a little bit. Kind of that classic traveling and coming back terribly ill situation. Yeah. I've been coughing like a Victorian tuberculosis kind of child.
Yes.
At one point my nose was bleeding and I would cough into a napkin and I'd pull it off and there would be blood in it and I'd be like, Jesus Christ, this is the saddest thing in the world.
Yeah, you have the plague. You have the bubonic plague.
Truly.
What is on TikTok when it's live streaming? It's like you're playing PNC
POV.
Wait.
You're talking about. You guys are so gay.
Wait.
You're talking about NPCs.
NPC. It's like
play a video game for once in your life. I'll say that first and foremost.
Non-player. What is it?
Non-playable character.
Non-playable character, but it's live of somebody being a sick Victorian child.
Yes.
You ever seen those?
Yes.
And they're just
I love
they're
it.
being
Yeah. I also saw. Remember when people were doing that thing where it's ice cream,
popcorn,
ice cream,
yum.
Yeah. There was a Victorian version of that.
That was crazy. Society's decline is happening so quick, and it's so sad. What is that? There are kids who sit down and watch that, and that's what they like to watch. Do you know what I mean?
They're charging their parents' credit card and sending her ice cream in galaxies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone told me once that it has to be a fetish and that the reason that these things are sustainable is because there are a lot of guys out there who have this weird remote controlling fetish. Even if it's not inherently sexual, it's I'm telling this woman to bark and she's barking from far away and he's jerking off on the other side of his phone.
Yeah, it's kind of scary to think about what
not
the
me,
other side of that. Not you.
Not me.
You read that.
You
did read that somewhere. You read that somewhere. Yeah.
Julian has acrylic nails. and he's ashamed.
Not ashamed. I just said this is our first time meeting. Not that it's bad. Yeah, you're correct. I just said I have these on because I'm filming a Nora video, and the tan hat and the I don't know. It just felt like a discombobulated look. But you know what? I'm owning it. Thank you, Vinny, for telling me.
You look pretty, and I love Nora.
I love Love Denora. I was so mad she didn't win the Golden Globe last night. What were your thoughts on the Golden Globes?
Nikki Glaser fucking killed it. I did not watch that much of the Golden Globes. I just watched her like opening bit and a few more of her bits, and it was like she was so amazing. Yeah, she was amazing.
She should do it every year. She should. We found someone. Keep it. I watched the entire thing. Every single joke landed. Like every single one. There wasn't a miss. It was
her
great.
stylist too hit the mark. Every single thing she looked amazing. But my
she
favorite
always
joke,
looks hot though.
Always gorgeous.
Yeah.
Favorite joke in the opening was to Timothy Chalamet when she said, "You have gorgeous eyelashes on your upper lip." Like I'm dying. I was like, but no, she was amazing.
Yeah.
It was good. I can't wait to see like what the other awards go to, because it did seem, I don't know, there were things that were expected to win that didn't, and it was cool.
Yeah.
Demi Moore, shout out Demi Moore. That speech was absolutely incredible. And
did you see her
so
speech,
inspiring.
Vinny?
No, but I saw everyone's reaction to her speech, and given kind of the broad consensus that it was good, I will agree that it was amazing, and I really loved it.
Life-changing. You took every word. You know it. You
Truly.
know my heart now.
I took it to heart. It's on my wall right now.
No, it's exciting. I loved her speech. I love that she's like done this for truly 45 years, and this is like, it's her moment. It's nice. It's nice. It's nice to see a woman win.
Yeah.
Very that.
Yeah. And you're brave for saying that.
Yeah. The one other thing I'll say about the Golden Globes that was so funny was for the director of Amelia Perez brought up a translator. And first of all, I turned to my friend and we were like, you saw it. Like, he came up there and he had you were like, oh shit, it's 3 pieces of paper. I was like, this is a 3-page speech. And so he would say like 3 words, and then she would like kind of like not know and then say it, whatever. And so she's translating this entire speech, which is lasting forever.
Holy
and then
shit.
he's saying at the end, he's saying people he's thanking. So like say it's like Jean-Claude. And then she'd lean in and go, Jean-Claude. And then he'll be like, Searchlight Pictures. And she'd be like, Searchlight Pictures. I was like, we know that. We got
We actually don't need to translate Searchlight Pictures.
Yeah. The name is actually not being translated because it's the name. So, but
a good translator is hard to find, I'll say that.
Yeah.
It is so hard to find a good translator, fellas. Let me tell you.
Are you looking for a lot of translators in your life?
Oh, all the time I'm looking for translators. All the time. And it's so hard to find a good, trustworthy translator.
Yeah.
They steal.
Yeah. They steal.
They steal.
Yeah. Steal like words or items.
Just stuff like from your purse.
Yeah. Oh my god. Wait, so Vinny, tell our audience about yourself. You have a minute. No, I'm kidding. Just tell them who you are, where you're from, where you're going, yada yada.
What's in your purse?
Yeah, what's in your purse?
Well, nothing. I hired that translator. I'm originally from Denver, Colorado. And then after college, I moved to Chicago, and that's where I kind of started doing comedy, improv, and sketch stuff. I was on a house team at the Second City, and I was doing improv at IO and just kind of performing around town when the pandemic happened. And so then I started just posting videos online, which I never thought I would do. I didn't think I would do that. It didn't strike me as something I wanted to do. I thought, I'll just age gracefully into like an improv teacher or something. I don't have lofty dreams of like anything besides just kind of hanging out in Chicago.
Yeah.
But then, people started seeing it, as happens when you put stuff on the internet. And I got attention from a couple of people, including Nick Stoller and Billy Eichner, and Billy asked me to audition for Bros, kind of that gay rom-com that we all remember.
Yes.
And I was gay Twitter witch number 3 in that. I was in full like Wicked Witch of the West drag. Ultimately was cut out of that, but the guy who directed that, Nick Stoller, directed Platonic, which he pulled me for, and then has continued to every now and then pull me into a project or two. And then I was in Star Wars for like 12 seconds. And
So cool.
That was bananas. Star Wars is crazy.
How did Star Wars come to be?
I think
Just
Star
like an
Wars
audition?
came. Yeah, it was. That was. I don't know. I always tell myself that it never happens that you audition for something and someone looks at it and they're like, "Oh, he's perfect. Just pick him." Like that never happens. It's always like you know someone who knows someone else who knows you, and then you're kind of shortlisted, and then they just pick from that shortlist that they were like. That's just how it happens, right? But this time, it actually worked out that way. And eventually I realized it was because I looked like the animated character who I was playing the live action version of.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Like, that was a lot of it. And then oh God, I was so nervous to do Star Wars because I love Star Wars. Like, I grew up watching it. I'm such a little dork. I grew up watching the animated series, The Clone Wars, which is directed by Dave Filoni, and he directed this episode of Ahsoka that I was in. And so I was like so intimidated because you go there and it's like 40-foot tall blue screens and there's a million extras in the hot sun covered in makeup who are like being tortured, and you're like, every second counts because like they need to get out of that. And at one point the director, and then Clancy Brown, who plays Mr. Krabs, he was also there. Another important hero, kind of an unsung hero of a generation.
Yeah.
The director came up to me at one point and he's like, I hear you do improv. And I was like, yeah, I do. Do you know what I mean? Kind of like, of course I do. And he was like, why don't you improv a little something in this little space here? Why don't you improvise a line? I was like, sure, of course. And the line I improvised for Star Wars was, how on earth? Which, famously, Earth does not exist in the Star Wars universe. So the director like stopped everything and he was like,
oh my God.
He was like, maybe don't say Earth. And I was like, T.
Yeah.
He was like,
He spilled.
Spill. He was like, galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. He's like, it's in the name. I was like, yeah. And Clancy Brown is laughing and he sounds exactly like Mr. Krabs when he laughs. And it was like this insane kind of fever dream in the back of my head.
Yeah, that's nice.
And then the fans are crazy too. I could talk about this forever. I don't know why I'm like branching off in Star Wars for a second, but it was.
I mean, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so I'm down.
Shut the fuck up, Nick.
Yes, I know. I don't play video games, but I was big into Star Wars.
Did you know there was no Earth?
No, by the way, I was gonna say I would
didn't
not
know that
have,
either.
I wouldn't have. I mean, it makes sense now that you say it. This makes sense to me. It is a galaxy far, far away.
You saying galaxy far, far away? Literally, I was like, I guess that is true. Because when you said the Earth thing, I was like, oh, okay, like maybe you didn't think that was good enough. I don't know, but I was like, oh, okay, too.
Yeah.
But I guess
of course there's no Earth, fellas. What are you talking about? Did you ever see fucking New York City and fucking Star Wars? Like, what are you talking about? There's no Earth.
Well, I haven't really watched since. Well, now I'm going to because for you. But I want to see. I want to see her line. I don't think I've only seen the Natalie Portman one. That's the last one I saw.
Oh wow. Okay, you haven't seen any of the newer ones,
Jeez.
like in the past, or I guess what's his name, Adam Driver ones.
Rolled his eyes.
Did I? I didn't mean to.
Nick.
No, I love Adam Driver. I love Adam Driver. I was just thinking about. I couldn't remember his name.
No, but we said in the beginning one of our gay awakenings was Star Wars because mine was definitely Princess Leia like getting scratched in the back from that like tiger animal, and then like Crotch like diving onto the just like literally like poof,
and
then riding off with Chris. What was his name?
Hayden Christensen. You're talking about
Hayden
Anakin.
Christian. Anakin. Yeah. Okay, so like not really that big of a Star Wars fan, but like love the lore.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's worth that's enough. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I also like it is. It's so funny to hear you talk about like your journey and saying like you just want to like you go from like what you had been doing in Chicago to being in Star Wars. Like that's fucking crazy. That's nuts.
Yeah, it's bananas, and it's kind of bananas to think about. But here we are. There's Hollywood, baby.
It's the biz.
It's the biz.
Also, I just want to point out that Vinny went on mute to cough, and that's so polite. And Nick has the noisiest water bottle ever, like we said, and drinks in the most serious of times.
Oh
so
my
I'm just saying,
gosh.
take a page from Vinny's book.
Yeah,
Wow.
Literally,
I
someone.
thought. I was just gonna say I thought a guinea pig was suckling from one of the little water things in it.
That's exactly what it sounds like. Someone on our podcast will be telling the most traumatic story that ever happened to them, and I'll just be listening, and I'll just be in the middle of it. I'll be like,
I always, like, without a doubt, I'm like,
Yeah, if you watch the video podcast, Julian gives me the and by the way, it's totally justified. Like the scariest look, like bitch, what the fuck are you doing? It's
They're like on the brink of tears, and you're like,
look, I'm trying to cut the tension.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
You guys get really traumatic stories a lot.
No, no. I feel like, I guess most, like, someone will be talking, we have a lot of comedians on the podcast, so they'll be talking about, like,
if anyone's crying, it's usually us.
Yeah, it's usually us, yeah. But, mental health in the comedy community, I mean, we have to talk about it, and it gets talked about. It gets talked, yeah, exactly. Everyone's like, oh, I'm depressed. I'm like, oh, let's get in line. But wait, I want to talk about Chicago. We're Chicago boys.
Yeah.
Oh, shut up, both of you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
I know, look at that.
Where did you guys live?
I lived in second grade. I moved to Illinois. I lived in Naperville until 8th grade, and then I lived Damon Blue Line, Milwaukee North, and Damon, and on Walcott, right there.
Oh yeah.
And then, really quick tie back. My parents live in Colorado. I guess I've said Boulder. I don't know Boulder, Colorado. So Denver. I have a tie to that too, which I was so excited to tell you that.
So he's stalking you. He's been following.
Yeah, well,
you.
I was doing my research and I saw that and I was excited to.
No,
the
Colorado's
two
amazing.
connections.
I love Colorado, and if there was any like semblance of an industry there, if Colorado was more like Atlanta, I would live in Colorado probably.
Yeah.
Totally.
Because no one like leaves. That's the funny thing is like most people when they leave their hometown, they kind of like shit on it a lot. You know what I mean? There's nothing really bad I can say about Colorado. There's a lot of bad shit I can say about Denver. There's like not always a ton to do. Every other restaurant is kind of Chili's. But besides that, like, it's great. I really do love it. You know?
But you love Chicago.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Chicago's the
Chicago
best.
was great. Chicago's great because you go like, especially when you go kind of after college, it feels like kind of an extension. And I didn't have like a conventional college experience. I went to basically a community cusp college called Metropolitan State University of Denver. Go Roadrunners. And it was a commuter college. So I was just kind of driving back and forth, living with my parents. And then I go to Chicago and it was kind of more college-y, you know? It was like, I'm kind of exploring different kind of like comedy stuff. I'm meeting a ton of new people. I'm going out. I'm hanging. I'm going to the Annoyance and then going to that Taco Bell that's right there at like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
It was amazing. You know, I really loved it and I'm going to look back on it fondly for the rest of my life. But I think at some point, if you want to like keep going, you do have to leave. But you could also make a very lucrative career doing like the Chicago fires of it all. Do you know what I mean? So there are some very there are some local actors there who I'm really look up to it. Yeah.
No, the comedy scene in Chicago is like incredible. I grew up in Lincoln Park. I moved to Chicago when I was 8, and I was there until college.
Is he quiet for you, Vinny?
What?
He's a little quiet for me.
Me?
Do you see
you
me?
are
I keep
quiet.
reaching for my keyboard and tapping the turn up button.
Hello?
Maybe-
Is that louder?
Yeah, that is.
Okay,
Maybe
is that
like
sorry. Up like this?
yeah.
Hello?
There.
Hello?
That's like a little bit, but
Okay,
he was
great.
quiet
I
for
think
me
it's a
too,
little
so I
better.
hear you.
Oh, okay. I can fix it in post production. Yeah. So for our listeners, post is post production. It's when you do things after production. Not saying that this is that big of a production. Anyway,
It's also
I grew
a
up in
cereal brand.
what?
I said it's also a cereal brand.
Period.
Post.
Wait, what?
Post.
Post? What's post cereal?
It's like every cereal ever.
What?
You've never heard of post holes?
What are you guys post? Are you guys fucking with me?
No, Post Malone and Post cereal.
Wait, but you just said post hole.
Hold on.
No, we didn't say that. That's disgusting.
I thought you just said you haven't heard of post holes. What's post holes?
Cereal.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I'm not
You
even
need
joking.
to get here. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know where you are now, but you need to get here with us.
Yeah, I'm like very confused. I feel like
Post.
oh, I've seen that before.
Oh, shut up! It's real.
Oh,
Oh, you didn't think?
I thought you were doing a bit. I didn't know what the fuck you were talking about.
Oh, no. I was.
well, it worked. It worked. I don't even know what I was talking about. I grew up in Chicago. Yes, the comedy scene in Chicago is amazing. And I went to Second City Boot Camp when I was in when I was a freshman. in high
Oh, were you
school.
like a troubled teen?
Yeah. My parents were like, go perform at this place. But no, the scene there is great, and I also did shows at IO and stuff. I loved it there. But it is nice. I mean, it's like a commuter. It is like you were saying, like it's if when you leave, a lot of the people come to LA, New York. I mean, the comedy scene in New York and Chicago. I mean, LA. It's like I feel like it's 50% people from Chicago.
Yeah, but I think the interesting thing is like I don't know if a lot of us would have left without
Right.
the pandemic.
Right.
I don't think I would have left without the pandemic. I would have still been there kind of like tap dancing trying to get on SNL or whatever. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? And it's
Yeah.
like I don't know, sometimes you need kind of a big crazy thing where like a lot of people die to kind of just kind of change your
lot of
perspective in
people.
your life.
Like
a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes you need that. Personally, sometimes you need that.
Yeah. And then wait, so yeah, I mean, I first came into contact with you. That's what a weird way to say that, through social media and like your videos. And I mean, this was not the video that made me find you, but I think one of the best videos I've ever seen in my entire life. Like truly one of my
Me too.
It was the throw some bread.
Yeah, throw some
Yeah.
bread is like
Did you know we were gonna say
incredible.
throw some bread?
I didn't know you were gonna say that.
Yeah.
I'm here with 2 more homosexuals.
Yeah.
And I think the pigeon video for gay guys is like really like
Yeah.
they love it.
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
whenever I go to a gay space out here, like that's the video they mention.
That's the video,
That's the
yeah.
video they mention.
Yeah.
Straight people like it'll be something else or it'll be platonic, but gay people
Yeah.
it is inevitably the pigeon
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And I
Well-
do love that.
Yeah, we'll put the video in right here so that
Yes! You better work, bitch! You better work, bitch! Right? Throw out some bread! Throw out some bread, bitch! Right? I see you throwing that glitter. I see you throwing that glitter. Cut it out and throw some bread. Stop throwing that glitter and throw some bread out. A little bread. I know you have some bread. Empty your pockets. Empty your pockets. Ew. Let's get together, have a kiki over some bread. Let's have a kiki over some bread. Y'all got all this money for rainbow suits and no bread. I see a lot of jock straps, but you know what I don't see is bread. You know what they say, if there's no bread, honey, it's not pride. So y'all better get some bread.
I mean, I'm assuming that 99% of our listeners
Yeah.
have seen that video. It's the pitch and at pride. Throw some
It's
bread.
It really is so incredible. I remember coming across it, and you know how you see a video you love and you like share it with like 1 or 2 people.
Yeah.
I think that was my whole share list.
Yeah.
That was like see more, like, and
Yeah.
you keep pressing them. Like it was just like obviously all your comedy is just like very
Yeah.
universal. Like everybody thinks that's funny.
Yeah.
I just think it is amazing. That's how I was introduced.
That's how you. It's very original.
because
it's very
we hadn't come in contact on social media. But yeah, no, just a big fan of your work.
I think for me, I was like, I really loved it. I thought it was so funny, but I rapidly realized that I could only do it once, right? I was like, I kind of am at a crossroads. I was like, I could keep making a million of these pigeon videos, but then I'm terrified of becoming a pigeon boy. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? Pigeon
Be
creature.
Pigeonholed.
Pigeonholed. And there it is.
yeah.
And there it is. But then I was like, yeah, I was worried about that, so I just made the one. But every now and then I'm like, oh, I could have just made a ton of money just making pigeon videos all the
Pigeon
time.
videos. Yeah. Did you? Was that one of your first ones to like pop off, or wasn't there an alien one? There was an
Yeah.
alien one that was big.
I would say the first like very big one was Aliens for sure. And then after that, or maybe kind of before that, there was one where I was a fly trapped in someone's house.
Yes. Yes.
And I would say that was the kind of blueprint that I used
Yeah.
for a lot of videos after that. And then it was the alien, and then pigeon, and then just kind of a smattering of little
Yeah.
stuff after that.
And then you amass a following, and there were just loving. They're loving it. They're loving you.
Are
And
they loving it? They're eating it up.
They're eating it
Their
up.
mouths are wide open and they're slurping the shit down. Yum, yum, yum. Hungry little pig.
feed them, give them what they want. And then so that
popcorn.
what? Oh yeah. Ice cream.
Popcorn.
Wait, so when one of my favorite things about your Twitter is you sometimes you get into some little arguments or just like some back and forth. No, I think it's brilliant because also it's always like calling people out for like insane behavior or the other sad things like I don't know, like racism, homophobia, just some the bad things.
Yeah.
When like did that
God, I hate racism.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
Brave take. Yeah, thank you for your brave takes. How like was that when you kind of got a following? That's when those things happen because once you get to a certain amount of people, especially on the hellscape that is Twitter, you get the worst of the worst. Is that like was it just?
I think once I started getting more of a following, I think I became at some point just I don't know. I became what's the word? I don't know, like pessimistic about humanity. I think a lot of people, more than anyone kind of realizes, are simply not willing to research, not smart, and kind of like woefully incurious. You know what I mean? And so it's like there are a lot of people who are mean, and the mean stuff is whatever. Most of the time, I don't care. Sometimes it's funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Totally.
It's when people are just straight up kind of dumb.
Yeah.
That is the stuff that gets so under my skin, and that I'm like, okay, I have to respond to this because you're being like straight up goofy, or you're just like lying to yourself, or you're doing this weird kind of performance. You know what I mean?
Totally.
But then it also looks bad. I don't like spinning off into huge arguments on Twitter because you look unhinged. Like, what am I, sitting on the toilet arguing with a 12-year-old? Like, I don't, I'm like, stop. Who cares about this person?
Yeah.
Sometimes I cannot physically control myself.
No.
Like, one time I posted a video and someone's like, nice try. I saw this somewhere else. And I was like, really?
Yeah.
Where did you see it?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I just checked and it was your Twitter.
Yeah.
Do you know? Like, it's just
Yeah.
they don't. No one reads.
Yeah.
They don't read the names anywhere. They just kind of look, and then that's it.
Well, it's also like you were saying, it's an inability to have any curiosity about anything, and also the way that the access to information now is so simple. Like, it is so easy to like make something like crystal clear, but it's also just like a fuck you mentality of like, I'm not gonna do that because it's like a waste of my time, or like I just want to be right. And especially on Twitter, I mean, the shit that I see on my Twitter now, I'm like, it is just the way that you're like care or anything for humanity completely disappears.
Oh yeah.
I am so afraid of what I see on Twitter.
Twitter was the first website that I like started to go viral on. It was my cradle or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I barely post
Twitter
on it
was
now.
mother. Twitter was mother.
Twitter was mother, and I was suckling at Twitter's teat, and now that teat is no more. There's nothing coming out of it but like anthrax. I go back to Twitter, and it's insane. Like the stuff I will like just on my explore page the other day. I was like, let me open Twitter again just to see what it's like. I scroll for 2 seconds. I see a video of a man being crushed to death by an elephant.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's so much death on Twitter now. I've seen so many videos of people dying on Twitter.
Straight up, like, videos of people being crushed, like, and stuff I would have never, ever in a million years seen before Elon Musk got control of the thing.
Never.
You see constantly, and I'm like, well, I guess this isn't for me anymore.
Yeah.
This is for 12-year-old boys who need to be on a list. Do you know what I mean? This is not for me.
Yeah. No, it's scary. It's scary. It's also like what the most frustrating part to me about Twitter now too is it's like, the For You page. None of that shit is for me. It's like, and it's also like race. I'll have turfs on my Twitter feed. I saw something a couple weeks ago that was like this. They basically posted a video of Jennifer Aniston and Friends, and they were like, she's been trans all along. I'm like, for like talking about her genitals. I'm like, what the
trans
fuck?
investigation, bitch.
Like, what are you doing? Like, what the fuck are you talking? But you're so right. It's also just like the death. It's like, look at this terrible video of this man dying. I'm like, why am I seeing this? And why do children? Yeah, it's scary.
But what about blue skies? Are people doing that? Are y'all on that?
I can't
because
do
I feel
platform.
like everybody. Sorry, I don't have a Twitter, but like I feel like everybody hates Twitter and bitches about it, but then it's still on it.
Yeah, that's true.
I have taken such a step back from Twitter that I think ostensibly it seems like I'm kind of not on it. Like I'll post maybe once every couple of months, maybe. Blue Sky, I try. I think for me, I can handle two social media at a time.
Yeah.
I cannot do more than that. Some people are very good at cross-posting on a million platforms. Some people are on Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. I can handle two at a time, and that's it.
Shout out Threads.
Shout out Threads. I honestly prefer Threads to Blue Sky.
Oh.
I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
I think Threads is better.
Threads is that's the only one I do like that form of posting on is Threads.
Yeah.
The way that I feel about Blue Sky and honestly any of these things is I don't know if I have the passion to like jumpstart a whole new following and try to like build myself on a platform. I'm tired.
It's hard. And it's humiliating.
Yeah, it's also it's also
a humiliation
like,
exercise.
I've seen on some things like people will like repost, and it's like so many on like new platforms. It's like without saying it, it's like, well, but you actually don't know this, but I actually have a really big following elsewhere. It's like it gives that a little bit, and I'm just like, oh, it's like, but you're nobody here, and it's okay. And it's like it's just it's funny watching someone who's like, no, but you should see me on Twitter. It's like, girl, no one cares.
I want to make a fake avatar and just create a whole new persona that's like a different. Do you know what I mean? And like start from scratch.
Yeah, that's
and my name
fun.
is like Genevieve, and my username is like Genevieve the bitch, and all I do is complain. Do you know what I mean? Like that'd be fun. I don't know. Maybe I'll explore that.
And wait, what's like? So now that was acting always a desire, or was it just always comedy and that led to acting?
No, I think acting was always a desire. I think it was always in the back of my head. I don't know that I always like saw myself as, being a very serious actor or whatever, But I think to me it seemed like the natural career progression, something like that. And when I was at Second City, it was like sketch was always in the mix, right? So it was like eventually everyone's kind of goal was to get on the main stage or to get into the ETC or one of the other kind of auxiliary stages. So it was like acting is part of that because you want to be kind of in that program, in that mix. And then I wanted to do the boats. Second City used to have boats that you could get jobs on doing like sketch reviews.
Oh, I
they didn't
have heard
boats,
of this.
but they would like perform on cruise ships.
Right.
But the year before I moved out there, they shut that down. Like the deal ended between them and Norwegian. And so I was like, okay, that's like 90% of the available jobs.
Yeah.
So everything I think was just kind of fated to push me out here.
Yeah.
Instead of New York.
If only, I was just going to say, if only they didn't cancel it, maybe we would have come in contact before social media because I did a Norwegian cruise in 2017,
oh my God, as
18.
Dancer?
Yeah, as a singer-dancer. I covered all the singing, but I was a dance ensemble.
Amazing.
Cool.
Yeah, very fun.
Where did you go?
I was on for like 10 months. It was pretty crazy. And like we started in the French Riviera kind of vibe, but then we had like a few in like Spain and Portugal, but most of them were from LA to Miami. So it was the Panama Canal. So they were like 14-day cruises. And I never really understood why people, to each their own, but like there's like 9 sea days. Like a sea day is like where you don't see land at all. So it's like 9 of those 14 days are like you're just on the water. Like you're not like getting off and exploring, which is like chill. But like I actually just recently found this picture, which I've talked about it before, but I got weight checked every week or every other week.
Wait, I didn't know that.
That I got weight checked?
Like they would weigh you?
Oh, maybe I haven't talked about this. Yeah, they would weigh me. Not just me, the whole cast. But you would have to go, I think it was every other week. Or at the start of every cruise, basically. But I was put on Weight Watch because I'd gained weight. But
Weight Watch?
Yeah, I was on Weight Watch.
Yeah, Nick. And if you were above weight, they would play a whale sound and ring a bell. It was fucking crazy.
Throw you overboard.
Literally.
Throw you overboard. They'd say, go be with your family. It was sick.
It was mostly because of the costumes, because they didn't have, you know what I'm saying, you can't like be changing, so there wasn't enough resources to like fix them or like alter. But the food was so not healthy. I mean, and I was eating, I was hungry, I was dancing, you know, so I was just like eating, and I did gain weight, and I was shirtless, so like, you know, I was muffin top over my like tight little dancer pants, which was definitely happening, but like whatever.
Yeah.
And so I started.
It's happening to me right now.
Yeah.
If you could only see below this table, yeah. But I started sneaking food on, but because you couldn't have any fresh food, but I would sneak it on. I would wear on our docking days in Miami and LA. I would wear like big sweatsuits, and people would always think I'm crazy because it was hot out. But I would wear like tight leggings and like a tight tank underneath, and then the sweatsuit. So I would go to Whole Foods, get like thin packets of meat and like cucumbers and like anything that was kind of like thin. So I would then, after I checked out, I would go to the bathroom of the Whole Foods and load myself up with these products.
I would
so
get
like,
thin packets of meat.
No, it's seriously anything that doesn't like you can't see. So like I'm like, once I get in the car, I'm like sitting like so like this, like getting back to the boat, and then you have to go through a metal detector every single time. So you know, you had to be kind of whatever. But I was like crunching like through the metal detectors, sweating like every single time, and that was my cruise experience. And I got caught at the end. I got caught, but I didn't get not much trouble.
How did some like baloney fall out of your leg?
No, they patted me down. It was actually humiliating to be like taking the things out of my shirt.
Was
and
it
I was
like
like, you give me no choice.
Yeah.
But I
also
also
was worse, like a dog or a sea lion or something like grabs you by the abdomen.
I'm just like, oh my god, how did that get there?
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
Who put that thin meat
that
on
thin
me?
meat. Yeah.
Who put that thin meat on
here.
me?
Here
I have one last question about Weight Watch. What is that conversation like, and who has to give it to you? Oh my god, guys! Julian is showing a video of his. By the way, you look tiny. I can't believe they put you on Weight Watch. What the fuck?
No, it was great. But that is a good. I love that picture because it's like I was really going for it.
You're like Lady Gaga at the VMAs in her meat dress. So
Exactly.
Exactly like Lady Gaga in her meat dress.
And everyone thought she looked amazing, but you tried to do it just on a cruise ship, and all of a sudden, homophobia is alive and well. Homophobia is alive and well.
I heard that, sister.
wait. My last question, and then Vinny, I want to get back to you. But what is the conversation when they put you on Weight Watch? Is it like your director?
No, it's like it's the costumer, and you were just told you can't. Basically, in the fluctuating was 5 pounds. It was 5 pounds above or 5 pounds below.
Okay. Gotcha.
And I was above 5 pounds.
yeah.
You know, I like to eat.
So they're just like so. Diet.
It's not
Mama,
like
you're fluctuating.
yeah.
Fluctuate is actually my middle name, but I would say they weren't mean about it. It was just like in your contract.
Yeah.
And like, not that I agree with it, but like, I signed a contract.
Yeah.
And I think the frustrating part is we were dancing, but then it's like we only had certain times that we were allowed to use passenger facilities. So like, I couldn't go to the gym that much. Unless it's like early in the morning.
This is crazy.
Or not, and you couldn't go up into the passenger without like a button up in a suit coat. So like, you know, I was in my windowless bedroom, not going up there because I didn't want to wear a suit. Like,
Damn.
and when I did, it was because I was
Yeah.
starving.
Vinny is hearing all of this, and he's like, I'm kind of glad Second City canceled this.
Look, no, that would have been different. I would have been in the passenger facility, and not only that, I would have gained that weight. I would have fluctuated like mad.
Yeah. I don't think.
No,
I
they didn't
don't
have,
think
like-
Second City has a weight watch. I'm not. I
No,
don't think
and
so.
they definitely didn't have the budget for like costumers or anything. Like
Yeah.
it was like when people tell me about it, it's very much like even now when you're on Second City, you get paid kind of I don't know, nuts and bolts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's almost nothing.
Mm.
So I don't know. There's a million reasons why I'm glad I kind of left Chicago, but I think that's one of them. Is I would have kind of just been stuck spinning my wheels at Second City.
Yeah.
And also the people who were on main stage are out here now kind of doing exactly what everyone else is doing. And it sucks, but no one outside of like the Chicago community kind of knows what main stage is. So it doesn't really matter. Do you know what I
Right,
mean? But when
right.
you're out there kind of in that cult atmosphere, you're like, oh, this is it. This is the gag.
Yeah.
It's main stage.
Yeah. Do you like LA? Do you want to spend time in New York? Where do you want to be buried?
You want to hear something gaggy?
Yes.
Oh.
Wait,
Or you
I'm going to get to the buried thing in a second.
Okay.
Because that's also gaggy. I went to New York for the first time last fall in like September, November.
Which
I'd never been there before. I loved it. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was like I don't know how anyone gets anything done because it's like
yeah.
every 5 steps there's a new bar or like a new place where someone's playing music or like a cute little bookstore that's open all night or something. It's great. I don't think I'd ever been to a city like that before. And it was great. I don't know. I was like, maybe I should live here. But then I thought about how much the rent is and like how much I get for a place out here versus out there, which is an insane thing to say about LA, but it's true. Like if I were to pay the same amount of rent out there, I would get like a tiny little
shoebox.
closet.
Yeah.
And there would be roaches and everyone would be like, well, that's New York.
That's New
We
York.
have roaches. Every now and then we send someone in to spray them.
Yeah.
Anyway, I want to be buried in I want to be very natural. Do you know what I mean? Like something like natural and kind of aesthetic and beautiful. I just want to be kind of put in the ground, but I still want something. I don't want a tree. Everyone's like, I want to be buried under a tree or something. No, trees die. And also, I don't want like strangers eating any fruit that I bear or something like that. You know?
That's fair.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I want like a big, impressive rock or sculpture. Still want to be buried naturally in a natural place, but big, impressive sculpture, just so people know I was important.
Do you want one of those like little home, like do you want like a tomb?
No, I don't need
No, you
people
wanna be
to like.
underground.
Yeah, I want to be underground. I want the creatures to eat me. I want them to take me and kind of take little bites, have their share.
Yeah.
But I still want like a big impressive thing that's like the guy who's buried under here. You better not move this rock.
Yeah.
You better not move this rock. I want like anthropologists in 1,000 years to be like, this was a village noble.
Right,
You know,
right,
like
right.
this
Yeah.
was an important like doctor or something.
Yeah.
And he's buried here
Yeah.
for sure.
And your Twitter handle is on the.
Oh, absolutely. There's a QR code
Great
that
stuff.
pulls up like a menu of who I am.
Yeah.
For sure.
Have you guys seen, like, there's a service that turns your ashes into artificial coral, like mixes them into the concrete for artificial coral and then puts you in the ocean to rebuild coral reefs.
Oh,
Oh, I love that.
that's fun.
Okay. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'll put you guys down for that.
Totally.
Yeah. I
Okay.
one of my ex boyfriends. He
Brag.
Yeah, one of them. He like worked in end of life care. I don't even know what you're saying this about. Whatever. And they're crazy places that people will put their ashes, or what they'll like be made into, or like people carrying them
soup?
around on
Like what?
necklaces, or like in a teddy bear, or like yeah. I mean, have you guys ever seen that My Strange Addiction, where the woman's like, one day I took my husband's ashes out and I accidentally spilled some on my finger, and so I ate it. And ever since, I am addicted to eating my husband's ashes. Have you not
That
seen
lying diva. I
Yeah,
love her.
yeah.
She's
Yeah, she's
so
like-
radically dishonest.
this? Yeah. She's like, it just randomly fell on my finger, and I just It just ended up in my mouth.
I just tasted it.
Yeah, I just
That's
like wouldn't
crazy.
you?
No, she's doing it like Fun Dip style,
Yeah.
like licking her finger and sticking it in the ashes and then licking the ashes off like it's the fucking Fun Dip powder.
Well, how long is that gonna last? Not very long. She's
I
gonna
mean,
find.
She's almost through
she's
the
probably
ashes.
done. Yeah.
Yeah, she's.
But you know what's
licking
gonna
that
happen
bag.
though. She's gonna need, you know, if she's gonna go hungry, she's gonna need to find new ashes.
Totally.
She's
Just
gonna go
burn your
looking for-
food.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good point. Burn your food.
Put it on like double time.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
Incinerate.
and then get a. Like,
I
you know.
love the.
Oh no, you
No,
go.
Julian, no, you go.
No, you go. You go.
No,
No, you go. You go.
You're the guest. Go.
I'll go.
No, you have nails.
What does that mean?
Nothing.
Why would
Oh.
I go first if I have nails?
It's important that we don't talk over women. So.
I was just gonna say.
I'm dead.
I was just gonna say. You know, people go on cruise. It's cheaper to die on cruises because they insurance.
Wait, it's
Just sorry to
cheaper?
tie it back. Like you say weird things. Like
Wait,
older people go on cruises
To
a
die.
lot.
To die.
It just the insurance they have to pay for it.
Oh,
It's
Wow.
cheaper. It's cheaper to be on a cruise. But
That's
like
Be-
I will tell you, we know there's like code. I don't remember what the code was for
Yeah.
like medical emergency.
Uh-huh.
But like in the middle of the night, like obviously it was like through because there were sectors of like if that was the emergency crew, kind of basically. So like through the night, if it was like code this, you would know somebody passed.
Oh god.
Away.
Yeah, I know. They have morgues.
Wow.
They have a
Morgues.
morgue on. Yeah, they have a morgue on the cruise ship.
Holy shit. It's
Yeah.
cheaper because they just like kick them over.
Yeah, they just throw them off.
You just
You
kick
won't
them
coral
over.
reef.
Yeah, the coral reef.
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
yeah, yeah. You don't have to pay for the service; they'll just do it for you.
Okay, what were you gonna say?
Oh god, what was I gonna say? It was wait, what were we talking about?
It was probably
Before
very
this?
funny. We were talking
Death.
death, ashes, putting ashes.
Oh
in
yeah,
certain
I was just gonna
things.
say I really liked Nick's understanding of the My Strange Addiction lady, which wasn't that she was simply eating the ashes, but in fact that she was only eating the ashes.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that was the entirety of her
That's
diet.
her only source. Yeah.
Yeah, and that if she wanted more food, she would have to marry another man, and he would have to
he'd
die,
have to die.
and she would be fun dipping his ashes every day and
Yeah.
living off of that.
Yeah. Someone would be like, "Oh, you can have my sister's ashes." She'd be like, "It's not the same." not the
I don't want a woman's ashes. I'm not a faggot. Like she yells at the top of her lungs.
I'm not gonna do that gay shit. That's weird.
I'm
While
not
she's like,
eating gay ashes.
yeah. While she's eating, she has like ashes on her lip. She's like, "That's fucking twisted."
She's in the bag, like
Yeah. Yeah. She's like, "Give me a little baggie." She's bringing some of that to the club. She's on the dance floor,
will
like,
say
she's
with
got
the
her
nails-
pinky nail.
yeah.
Yeah, you're about to do a bump.
Wait, so also, Vinny, so tell us kind of about your what's coming up in your new year, 2025. Platonic's coming back, correct?
Platonic is coming back. I'm not sure when, but Nick Stoller's movie You're Cordially Invited is coming out at the end of this month. It's a rom-com with Reese Witherspoon and Will Ferrell.
You're
Oh
in
my
it?
god.
I'm in it. I'm playing
Oh,
Reese
fuck.
Witherspoon's assistant.
No
Hell
way,
yeah, Vinny. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh my god, that's so exciting! Wait, when's the? Are you like going to the premiere and everything? Like,
It's
what's-
on Amazon, so I don't know
Okay.
how involved
Yeah.
like the premieres or anything are, but yeah, I have no idea. It's coming out at the end of this month, though. I'm pretty
amazing.
excited.
That's
Vinny,
so
that's
cool.
incredible.
That's incredible.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
You guys, shut the fuck up.
No, we can't. We have a podcast.
That is so iconic, though.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Being assistant to Elle Woods.
Yeah, Miss Reese.
Yeah, truly, Elwood's herself.
That's so fun.
When I
Gaggy.
talked to her, I was like, "Hey, I just want to let you know, like, my dad's a huge fan. He really loved you in Walk the Line. He loves Walk the Line. He was
Love
like,
Walk the Line.
and she goes, "Oh wow, thanks. That was 25 years ago." Or something crazy. And I was like, "Oh, dude,
Okay,
she fucking
yeah.
gagged me."
Yeah.
She's so funny, and
Yeah.
she's also such like she's very funny, she's very nice, and she's also she's an actress. Do you know,
Yeah.
like she is a serious actor. So
Mm.
like when we were getting ready to do a scene, I was kind of like just joking around, like pretending to punch my little iPad or
Uh-huh.
whatever, and she's standing there kind of like kind of like this, you know, her arms crossed, her like brow furrowed. And I go up to her, I'm like, I was worried she was like mad or something. I was like, hey, are you okay? Is everything fine? And she goes, yeah, I'm just, she goes, yeah, I'm just acting. And I said, oh. I said, oh.
Yeah, oh.
For sure. And me as well. Do you know what I mean? I'm right behind you.
And learn.
Yeah. She's like, oh, I'm actually doing my job. What were you doing? What were you doing?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Fucking around?
Yeah.
Maybe lock in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Lock in.
Lock in. Oh my god. Well, that's amazing. That's
Wow, we can't wait
incredible.
to watch.
I cannot wait to watch it. I'm
Thank
gonna
you
say, is that the
guys.
guy from Star Wars who talked about Earth? No, that's incredible. That's so exciting. Yeah. Well, that's so wonderful. And
Do you know what's the date at the end of the
do you know
month?
the actual date?
The 31st.
31st. So the bitter end.
Gorgeous.
The last possible day. Okay, that's amazing. Congratulations.
The
Yeah.
bitter end is crazy.
Well, thank you.
The
Thank
bitter
you.
end.
The bitter end. Thank you so much for coming on our podcast. Also, please let people know. I mean, I'm sure everyone knows where to find you, but please tell them where to find you. And yeah.
Yes. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at VINN_AYY. That's VINN_AYY.
Like
Vinny.
Vinay.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like Vinny.
No, I can read. Yeah, I can read. Well, thank you, Vinny. It's been such a pleasure, and everyone, yeah, go. Wait, what's the name of the movie one more time?
You're cordially invited on Amazon.
You are cordially invited. January 31st, guys, watch it, stream it,
Stream
Post
it. Throw some views.
throw some views.
Throw some
Throw
views.
some motherfucking views,
Throw some
bitch.
views. Okay, bye guys. See you next
We love
week.
you.
guys.
Love you. Bye.